Hey y'all, it's your girl Monét, and welcome back to the Exchange Rate, a talk show where we vote. Plain and simple, we vote here up in the Exchange Rate, and you should too. We have a really fun show for y'all today because a true barb, Miss Shannon Purser of Stranger Things is here. And later, a British bitch that's sure to make us all feel much better, Baga Chipz is also here. But first, let's get into the game. Girl, I have to tell y'all all about this saga that is my crazy neighbor. It has gotten crazier. So, cut to a few episodes ago, and I was telling y'all how he left the note on my door, and then yada yada yada. And I wanted to say, I wish a nigga would, fuck you, yeah. So, I come back from the studio Friday or Saturday night, mind my own business, and I was home for maybe about 10-15 minutes. I was literally eating a turkey, Swiss, lettuce, tomato, light mayo on a hero from the deli with popcorn as white cheddar chips, minding my business, finishing up Handmaid's Tale, and I hear like a boom, boom. I'm like, oh God, on my door. And I'm like, what the fuck? And through my door, I hear, keep it down, faggot. And I was like, oh. So, mind you, I'm in my home, mind my business, dick out, balls out, just living my free gay life in my apartment. So I'm like, oh, me on the couch, like I look like you know, like a big girl trying to get up real fast. I'm like, my sandwich in my hand. I'm like, oh hell no! So I'm like trying to get the gumption to get off the couch, and I open the door, and I'm like, excuse me. He's like, you need to keep it down. I was like, I don't know who the f you talking to. Don't you dare ever come and knock on my door like that again. It's just so effing rude, so disrespectful. Don't you dare. So then I closed the door and I went back in the kitchen to get a knife because I'm like, this motherfucker not going to be intimidating me. Just to give y'all like what he looks like. I would say he's a middle-aged man, late 40s, early 50s, salt and pepper, short Caesar hair. He could be black. If he told me he was black, I would say okay. If he told me he was Dominican, I would say okay. Like average plus body, something like that. About 6'1", 6'2". And as I opened the door with the knife in my hand this time, still butt booty naked. Look at grandma, so crazy to my neighbors. And then he's now walking down the hall, like back down the stairs. And I'm like, and yeah, just remember that when you can't sleep at night, I'm the faggot upstairs making all the noise on top of your head. Good night. Close my door. And then that was my Saturday night. It was crazy. I called the police. The police came. I spoke to my super. And everyone is like, yeah, this guy is no stranger to being wild and crazy. My super son, he gets like crazy in the building. He like demands all these crazy things, and he always has some complaint about something. So he's obviously someone that is just going through his own situation. But I'm not the one. You're not about to come in my home where I live and talk about no faggot anything. Not on this gay day. You are not the moment, sir. So that was that. So y'all know that same night, I was just making all unnecessary noise. Like I'm like picking up my bed and dropping that bitch like on the floor. I started tap dancing. I started rehearsing for the new production of Stomp coming back to Broadway next year. I was on and popping in my house. So TBD, we'll see what happens. It was just too much, girl. It was too much. Outside of that, I had a very productive weekend. I had a really great edible. I have a medical marijuana card. You should always do marijuana responsibly. And I had an edible that, it was one of those edibles you take, and it had me, I was constantly in the state of, oh my God, you're way too high to function, but still a really good place. And I mean, it lasted for about 18 hours, which was a very long time. But, you know, I felt good, and I needed it after dealing with that meth, that catastrophe, that crazy neighbor. And, someone who should be taking edibles, all the edibles, Ice Cube. Have you ever heard about this story? Ice Cube is... Honestly, Ice Cube and 50 Cent, why are we even listening to them? They're a mess. They should go the fuck away. So Ice Cube, while we were all minding our business, drinking our Crystal Light and our Prosecco, Ice Cube, we found out because the senior White House advisor, Katrina Pearson, tweeted, shout out to Ice Cube for coming to work at the White House on some issues. And we're all like, what? What? Ice Cube was at the White House working on Trump's Platinum Plan, which is a Trump initiative to help Black America. It does not take a rocket science. It does not take a third grader to realize that Trump is not here for the betterment of the Black community, of brown communities. Trump is here for white people, like plain and simple. And honestly, not even many of them, because if you're white and you gay, he ain't here for you. If you're white and you're super religious, he ain't here for you. So Trump is just out for rich people like himself. But I actually think that he's gonna be the savior, and he's up in the White House trying to talk about the Platinum Plan. And the internet was shocked. The internet was gagged. Like, we cannot believe Ice Cube, who is, if I remember back in the 80s, Ice Cube, like, what really made him notable and prominent was he was with his group NWA and IGGA's with Attitude. And they had that song, Fuck the Police, coming straight from the underground, because I'm brown. Like, it was like a big song. It was like, oh my God, yes. Because, that is the year, those are years of policing Black communities, which they still are doing. And that's when people started praising Ice Cube for this. And his song, Arrest the President, like, he had some really powerful political songs that were really against the man. So to see him do this behind our backs, it was really, really, really shady. And he has this 13-point plan called the Contract with Black America that he said he was trying to talk with the president about, and he's not really for Republicans or Democrats. He's just here for who's ever gonna help the Black America and the Black community, and saying that none of the campaigns are trying to do that, when literally the Biden Harris ticket literally has like a 22-page agenda and plan to help the Black community and Black America. So, like, what are you even talking about? Like, you literally make no type of sense. So it's really crazy. And obviously, and I'm not saying Ice Cube is, because I do acknowledge that you do have to reach across the aisle and work with the other side and the people in power to help affect change. But anyone who is delusional enough to think that Trump really has that for Black folk is delusional, ridiculous, and is crazy. I'm sorry about it. So we'll see where this goes. He went on CNN on the Chris Cuomo show and talked about how he wanted to talk about closing the wealth gap. He said this is the problem in America. Black people don't own capital. We cannot survive in America another 100 years living like this. And specifically for Black communities, if anyone has a problem with what he did, it seems like it's a personal problem. He has no time for that. So Ice Cube is saying what he's saying. We're not here for it, and he should really get his life together and try to think of a solution that is not talking with Trump. Because again, Trump is not here for the community, for the culture, for the cause. He's not here for any of it. Do not negotiate with terrorists. That is literally the number one rule in diplomacy. Don't negotiate with terrorists. Trump is a domestic terrorist, period. In the 90s, I did not watch like a lot of like white TV shows like Golden Girls or like Seinfeld or Friends, but I did watch Home Improvement because the boys were so cute. The boys, I was just like, ooh, they were like really, really, really good looking boys. And one of them, I think he was the older brother, Zachary Ty Bryan. He's a whole ass mess. He just got arrested over the weekend for choking out his girlfriend. I mean, like, choking her out within an inch of her life. He was arrested by the police on Friday night in Eugene, Oregon, which I used to live in Oregon. Shout out to Portland, Oregon. And I have visited Bend, Oregon, and Eugene, Oregon. Ain't nothing good happening in Eugene. Eugene is, in the grand scheme of things, if you think about New York, Eugene is more like a Coney Island area. Like, it's part of the city, but she a little crazy on the weekends. You know what I mean? So he got arrested for choking out his girlfriend. They got into an argument. He strangled and choked her, and he tried to take her phone away. Like, that's like more than just getting into a fight, whatever. Like, that's like devious, and that's like pretty nefarious to like say, oh, I'm gonna take your phone away so you can't call the police. Like, that's like a whole nother level of stuff. And when they put him in jail, his bail is only $8,500. So this motherfucker tried to strangle his girlfriend to kill her. He tried to take her phone away for, so she couldn't contact help, and he's only $8,500 bail. Like, that is not enough. Now, granted, he was a celebrity many a moon ago. I don't know how much she got in her bank account, But $800, no. That bail should be like $100,000. Keep him in jail. Because, yeah, there's an order of protection. But Miss Thing, she's going to get out of jail and probably try to go back and contact her again and do whatever. So, I mean, it's just $800 is not enough. I think the government needs to really do more when it comes to domestic violence stuff. Putting restraining orders and orders of protection. People break that shit all the time. If your motive is to kill or to hurt or to get somebody, you're going to make that happen. So, I hope that the girlfriend is safe. I haven't heard any news about it this week, so I'm assuming that she is safe. And yeah, child stars be going through. Brittany, Zachary, like what you said? Patty said him. Just one regional Broadway show. Now she's a child star.
So is it regional or is it Broadway?
It wasn't the West End, honey.
That's right. I didn't have to go across the pond. I got the job right here.
But you are going to cross the pond, so what's good? If I was a child star, I would like to think that my life would not be so cray, but I mean, I'm an adult star, and my life is a whole mess. So imagine if I grew up in the glam and the road and the tour life and the glitz and the... I probably would be really messed up. Thank you, Lord. Patty, you're not messed up. You're great, though. This is so good. It's so good. I was drinking Crystal Light and Prosecco at home. This is so good. I saw this story and I was like, I have to talk to the exchange reviews about this. This story is so crazy and shows why it pays to be nice to people. Well, and again, you shouldn't be nice to people to get paid, but it's an added benefit of being a good person. This story is so crazy. Andre Czar is this like Polish man. He was like a leading contemporary gallerist in New York City and the world. And he was like selling art, abstract art pieces. Like, I unless you're selling a Banksy, how do art people make art sellers and dealers are so rich? How do you get into a career like that? You just have to have a good eye. Like, ooh, this is pretty. I'll buy it. I'll trade it.
Sort of.
That's crazy. Anyway, he was like a billionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. He dies and leaves his entire fortune to a deli owner in Queens. This multi-million-dollar empire of art. He passed away and left his entire everything. Everything he owned went to this deli worker in Queens. His name is Jose Yehe. That is crazy. So let me tell the story. So Andre, the guy who died, he bought a deli in Queens when his health was like deteriorating and like wasn't doing very well. He was also nearly blind in both of his eyes, and he met this deli worker. He was like the counterman at a deli, and they would like. But he lived in Manhattan. How did he go to a deli in Queens? How did that happen? There are a lot of Patty. There's a lot of holes in the story, but he met him in Queens. The deli worker has a wife and 4 kids, and they first originally met in 2016, where the Polish guy wanted to buy into his ice cream business because the deli worker Jose had an ice cream business, and he was a wholesaler. And the Polish guy was looking into becoming a distributor. That kind of fell through or whatever. So, but they became friends in the deal, and Jose became like his caretaker. Jose would come to the penthouse suite over there on 79th Street, whatever, on the east side, and he would like, as he was getting sicker and sicker, Jose started like bathing him and like feeding him and like going to get his groceries and all this stuff. Which I'm like, if you're a multimillionaire, you can afford to buy a home attendant. So something about this is just not all the way. It's just all the dots are not connecting to me. If you're a multimillionaire, you do not need. Maybe he had a side hustle as a caretaker.
I mean, also, wouldn't you want someone you were close to and had a relationship to take care of you over someone you didn't know?
I guess. But now Jose, with his wife and his 4 kids, he got stuff going on. If you fall out, you pee in the bed at 2:00 in the morning, you think Jose could come from Queens? Getting from Queens, that car ride that's a good 45 minutes. Bitch, I'm already soaked. I'm already on the floor. Having like these people normally have like a live-in caretaker who's there for them 24/7. So But that's that. That's not for me to decide. That's all his own business. And yeah, at one point, the Polish guy was gonna move into Jose's apartment or house in Queens, which I'm like, you wanna move? You wanna move into his house with his 4 kids? They're like screaming, temper tantrums, throwing switches at your head. Like, who knows what these kids are doing? So a lot of people are speculating that the Polish guy was blind and super sick, so he wasn't like didn't have aware of all of his comings and goings. And his lawyer says no, they were really, really, really close, and Jose was the closest person in his life, and she like saw it all transpired. She doesn't think any nefarious happened, but you know where my mind's going. This is a Lifetime movie. I think that maybe Jose and the lawyer they're in cahoots. She's like, oh yeah, we're gonna sign these documents over, and then you give me a portion of what you're gonna get from the earnings. He's blind, he won't know, and like he doesn't have any family in America. They all live in Europe. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? This is some Lifetime shit, girl. But no, the neighbors and also all the neighbors and coworkers in this building, all the neighbors and workers in the building. None of them liked Jose. They said that Jose, that he was not a good guy. Like they weren't here for Jose. But when he got really sick in the hospital, they called Jose. So I don't know. It's all really weird. Who knows? His family in Europe got nothing. He did not leave anything. In the last 8 months that he knew Jose, like he got really close to Jose, he left everything that he had to Jose, and the family in Europe got nothing, and they're really mad about it. But Jose is giving them some of the money, which is, I guess, a nice goodwill thing. Maybe he feels bad. He's like, I swindled this man for all his money, and the least I can do is give his nephew in England a couple of million. Like, here you go, girl. Here's 500,000. That's for you. Oh my God, good dick will make you start your life over, honey. And now today for this week's Halloween highlight. Woo! Spooky in here. Look at our lovely little spooky decor, Patty. Do you like it? Mm-hmm. So cool, yes. So RuPaul's Drag Race, obviously the show that put so many queens on the map. And out of it, things like Boulay Brothers Dragula was birthed. Well, Dragula normally does a Halloween special, and this year they were continuing on with their tradition of their Halloween special by doing Dragula Presents Resurrection. It's kind of like an All-Stars-esque thing where they're bringing back past contestants to compete for, I'm guessing, a cash prize, who knows. But Drag Race is doing their own Halloween special this year. But Drag Race did a Christmas special first, so I think they're going to start doing all the holidays. They're going to start doing a Thanksgiving special. It's probably going to be a Drag Race of Love for Valentine's Day. They're probably going to be all the specials. Who knows? Drag Race is everywhere. So they're doing their Halloween special where they're bringing back 11 of the 12 queens from this past season to compete. Well, not compete. It's going to be like the Christmas special. They're going to be like, set scenes and like lip syncs and kiki sessions, like all that kind of stuff. And what I think is really, really, really dope. By the way, I'm probably excited to see maybe 3 of them perform. No shade. I can think of 3 of the girls. I'm like, oh, I want to see what they're going to do. Everyone else, I'm like, can you think of any girls that you want to see perform in there? No, I didn't think so.
I don't know. Out of what?
Drag Race the last season, bitch. With Sharita Pie. Right. So, but what's really good and what's really dope, and I think it's a really nice move for Drag Race, is that throughout when you're watching the special, which is airing October 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Raw Presents Plus on the app. It's as cheap as a cup of coffee, whatever their tagline is, so you get Raw Presents Plus. Is that throughout the show you can Venmo and you can tip the girls, and they're gonna pool all the money together, and they're gonna divide it between all of the 12 girls. Like Drag Race is not getting a cut. World of Wonder's not going to cut. Like, the money's going strictly to the girls. Because, these girls, their season came out through a pandemic. And they weren't able to travel the world and the globe like so many of us before them have done. To recoup all that money spent on the show. I know some girls who have... I know a girl who went on Drag Race. I'm not going to say what season, how recent, how old. She went on Drag Race and she spent $40,000. 40, comma, 0... Oh, well... Y'all are seeing it in mirrored reverse. 40, comma 000, like $40,000 to be on the show. So I'm not saying all the girls do that, but I'm sure they spend big coins. So it's nice that the show is. I think they should put it on VH1. Can you imagine the amount of money they would make if it was like on streamed on VH1? But Why Presents Plus is good too. Woohoo! We're all digital. And yeah, so that's a really good move. So if you are free at that time of that day, I'm sure you can probably watch it later too. You should check out the RuPaul's Drag Race Halloween special for the new, for the returning girls of season 12. Woo! Girl, people be trying to play me as one-dimensional, but no, mama. Just like all the other ogres, I got layers, okay? Check out some of the layers in the latest episode of Street Beats. Here we go, girl. Where's the light? This is the light. No, this way. Oh, this is the light, honey. Oh, thank you. It's so fun, just do my makeup outside here. Oh, yeah. Why does a boy put on makeup? Anyone can wear makeup. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Can I go off? I'm going to paint my hair.
You want blue hair? Girl, just get you a wig. Just get you a blue wig. You got blue. You don't have to dye your beautiful hair. I shaved them off.
Why?
Because it's summer and it's hot. You don't do that. You don't do that. Yes, that's like what it is to highlight. How did you know that? Magic. Thank you.
Are you sure you're not performing?
I'm not performing. But I might go over there and dance. That's good, really good music, right? Right? You guys have fun in New York City.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I want a picture.
I was. Were you Team Monet? No. You were Team Cameron Michaels, weren't you? Do I? You know, I showered today against my better judgment. Monét. Change. For our next guest, I had just one thing to say. A yellow coat and a cigarette. I do think. Y'all make some noise for Miss Baga Chipz.
Hello, Monét. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. I love you.
Baga, I fucking love you. You are so iconic. You are a queen where you do the damn thing. You're funny and you don't give a fuck about people's expectations or thoughts about you. You are Baga 100 all the time. I love that shit.
Yeah, well, like I said, that it's just that is my mentality. Don't let anyone knock you down. You know what I mean? I'm not a makeup queen. I'm not a seamstress, but I'm entertaining us. Can you swear on this show?
Oh, girl, fuck,
Oh.
pussy.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm entertaining as fuck, and I'm myself, and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me. If I look like shit on the runway, I'm still gonna serve it. I'm still gonna work it like I'm Kate Moss. So you know what I mean? There's so many different types of drag. You know what I mean? You have your pageant queens, your beauty queens, and I'm just because I was never really a drag queen. I've just always been like a comedian actor kind of thing. I'm very SNL more than look like a woman kind of thing. So I don't mind playing the old maid or the old grandma or I love doing characters and acting. So
character choices.
Just
you know,
comedy,
that's how I first met you. I met you at my first time I ever met Baga Chipz. It was my first UK London gig. It was at GAY. And I just remember you having such great one-liners for the show. So for those of y'all who are Americans that don't know about JY, Heaven Nightclub, they do this strip party, which Aquaria famously got like booed off the stage. It's called Porn Idol. Porn Idol. Thank you, Patty. Porn Idol at GAY, and you just were so funny and cut to 2 years later, you are one of the breakout stars of Drag Race UK.
It's absolutely crazy. Like you said, I loved GAY Porn Idol every week. You know what I mean? It's basically like
you and Ola.
Yeah, the Son of a Tutu. I love that Queen's Mix, and it's basically just American Idol, but they get the knobs out instead of singing, and it's just like it's just changed drastically. Like I was like, I'm going to get a few more gigs. I might be on it for a few episodes. If I've got on it, you know what I mean? Even if I go third at the beginning, I'll be fine. I can make a bit more money. I can do more gigs. And then I made it to the final and I was like, what the fuck? How did that happen? even I was surprised. I was like, I'm on this show with about £500 worth of stuff. Literally, charity shop, like thrift store stuff. And it was just like old, some of it looked good, but I had no money in the bank. I was always spending it.
Well, girl, that's the thing. And I think that's what I want fans of the show to remember is that oftentimes girls going to show, the show becomes this thing where you have to have the most expensive this, you have to this and the other. But you look at the first couple seasons, girls were not going on there with loads of money. Girls were local girls working a couple gigs out of the week, making maybe if you made $300 a week from tips and your pay, that was a lot of money. So I want fans to really remember that's what Drag Race really is about: is that bitches who are local girls working hard as fuck. If I'm not, you know, to be fierce, and you are living proof of that, and you still turned it out. You looked great, and you sold yourself to the world. People fell in love with you. I was talking to Blue, and Blue was saying, basically, you kind of got the. I know Vivian got the crown, whatever, but you got the same opportunity as her, which was because y'all couldn't win $100,000, but y'all got the show on WoW, so you kind of got a piece of the big pie at the end.
Oh yeah, like it's just been crazy. Like I just can't believe like my life has changed literally. Like it just changed overnight. Not just financial. Like I went on the show, like I said, I had £500, and I just was like, right, if you're gonna get far, you're gonna get far on being funny and personality and all that. So I was just like personality, and then I was knocking the bitches off one by one, and I was like, yeah, come on, Baga, and then I did my match better and all
that. Better, yes.
And then I won Snatch Game with Vivian. And then obviously the Frock Destroyers break up, bye-bye.
Yeah, girl, I'm gonna tell you, that is break up, bye-bye. To me, is one of, I would say, top 5 like most iconic Drag Race songs. Like, and y'all have been rumored to be doing Eurovision. Now, Blue wouldn't tell me that's true. Are the Frock Destroyers doing Eurovision, Baga? Can you please spill the tea here live on the show?
Well, it was number 2 in the official charts in the UK.
Crazy.
In the UK.
Bitch, RuPaul has not had a number 2 hit in decades.
And like I said, and there's more to come, so I'm not saying anything, but just beware because there is a lot of Rock Destroyers coming. But I can't say anything about Eurovision because if I say anything, we won't be on it, and they'll just be like, let's get Something Wong to sing a song.
Oh no, nobody wants that. Please, no, Baga.
No, please.
And you know what?
But yeah,
go ahead.
Like what you were saying with the costumes and stuff, I went on with £500. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if there's ever an All Stars UK or an All Stars Atlantic or an All Stars this, oh, bitch has got money now. So bitch,
girl. So you would definitely do an All Stars season.
Oh yeah, of course. I love the show. Like I've always watched the American one. I've just like when I watched you the first time, and then on All Stars, and I was like, that pussy has been stepped all the way to the moon. But the thing is, you was brilliant on your season, but All Stars, it was just like
money, girl. You got a little more money.
Well, if I walked in the workroom and you was doing and you was performing like you was on All Stars, I would have just been like, fuck this, I'm off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You absolutely killed. And
thank you, sis. Thank you. So before RuPaul's Drag Race, you were obviously no stranger to reality TV. You did Drag Queens of London for 2 years or 1 year.
Oh no, drag. Yeah, it was on for a year, but it was on. You're talking about about 6-7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah, it was long, and I literally had no lashes on. I was falling over. I was just very grungy. Amy Winehouse. I used to wear just like yeah. I was very Courtney Love and just very mascara, very Adore Delano.
It's a vibe. It's a look, girl.
Yeah, oh yeah, I look like trailer trash. I really did. But yeah, like any job, the longer you do it, you get better. You get much better at your job, and you learn your craft, and you learn skills on stage, and your makeup gets better, and your hair gets better, and your costumes get better. So yeah, it was fun to do. It was a bit like the Housewives, like the Real Housewives, but drag queens.
Yeah, I mean, now they have so many of you guys, especially from Drag Race. They should bring it back and like really profile y'all and like watch y'all around. Because I think fans are so interested in like what our lives are outside of the nightclubs and the meet and greets. Like they're like, what are these bitches doing today? Like, is Baga Chipz really going to M&S and buying her bananas? Is she really going to Tesco to get that little cheap salad? You know what I mean? People want to know like what you
that's
fucking
what
doing.
I love all
Yeah.
that. And without saying too much, I have actually filmed some stuff like that, but it's for British television.
Word.
But I've done. You're talking about 10 TV shows. You know what I mean, in Britain. So in Britain we've got like ITV. I'm sure you've watched it, and we have like BBC One and BBC Two. So I did like Celebrity MasterChef on BBC One.
Yeah.
I did like Celebrity Pointless. It's like a game show.
British people love reality TV.
Yeah.
Tiffany Pollard on Celebrity Big Brother UK is one of my favorite. Her and Gemma Collins are like now two of my icons because of CBB UK. It's so good.
Yeah, well, I'm doing a show in 2 weeks with Gemma. With me and Gemma have got our own show as well. So it's just reality.
Please let her know from Monét to her. I'm obsessed with Gemma Collins. I love her. She's everything.
When I'm with her, I'll get her on FaceTime and you can talk to her.
Please.
Because we're going to do... Oh, good, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we're quite similar. You know what I mean? We're both deluded. We're both blonde, and we're both just we love our food.
love Gemma. But Baga, I think another really great thing was this, which I think was really beautiful, was Sarah Alto collabing with you, and because she was like so sick and tired of seeing people collab with drag queens, and the drag queen is just holding the mirror or doing a fierce walk. She's like, no, I want to feature, you know, this artist. So that was a huge moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she literally just messaged me, and I was like, I've always been a fan of Sarah. You know what I mean? She's you know what I mean? She's a big part of the LGBT community. She's married to a lovely woman. And it's true what you said.
I didn't know she was queer. That's beautiful.
Yeah, she's a lesbian, and she literally just messaged me out the blue, and she wanted to do a duet. You know what I mean? She wanted to have the drag queen sing, not just like you said, just stand in the background and death drop and all that. She was like, no, she gave me a rap and everything. I was like, oh my god, Baga Chipz is rapping. And yeah,
this is why having queer people, lesbians making decisions is good for the community, because they're looking out for us, you know?
Yeah. Well, she messaged me, and she was just like, I'm a big fan of you, Baga. And I was like, but you're a fan of me? Because she's really big in the UK. She came second on British X Factor. She's been on many shows. And when I heard the song, I was like, this is a tune. And it's just very summery. It's like when you're on holiday, and just very, very Mykonos, very Greece, you know what I mean? Ibiza. So I was like, yeah. And I recorded my part because of Corona by myself. And I recorded it where the Spice Girls recorded their album, the first ever Spice Girl album. So I was like, this
God, for real?
Yeah, in the exact studio. I was like, this is where the Spice Girls recorded Wannabe and everything. So, and it did really well. It was #1 in Finland. That's good.
Girl, listen, that's more #1s than Bob has ever had. So win for you. Okay, girl?
Yeah, but like, I think to myself, like, I've had a #2 and a #1.
Yeah, girl. When are you coming back to New York, Baga? You said you loved it so much. When are you coming back to the big old? Well, obviously after the pandemic. Would you ever live in New York City? Is that a thing you could do, you think?
100% New York.
Really?
When I went there, you can ask any of the girls. I didn't want to leave. I literally was like, oh my god, this city's amazing. It's in London. You'll see it. Like, everybody thinks London English people are like, hello. You sit on the tube in London, it's just like, nobody smiles. They're just very busy. They just want to get from A to Z. When I was in New York, there was like, good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. Have a good day. Have a good day. Would you like a large fries with that? And I'm just like, oh my god, I want to live here.
What New York were you in?
They were lovely. Like, do you know the people in the street that do the traffic and all that? And I was like, I literally felt like oh my God, I felt like Samantha Jones. And I was just like, oh, and I just don't, and the streets are so clean. Like where in Manhattan, the streets are so clean because you can't, like, I'm not going to lie. I was having a cigarette outside and anybody would think I'd murdered someone. They was like, you can't smoke round here. You can't smoke round here. I was like, oh shit. You know.
Oh yeah, that is
the
the thing.
London,
They don't fuck with cigarettes
I mean?
here. Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yes, in England, we're all like, it's very European, isn't it? You know what I mean? Smoking. You know what I mean? I could whip, you know what I mean? I could whip out a pistol, they wouldn't bat an eyelid. I'd pull out a Super King cigarette, like, ah! You know what I mean? But it's true. But, because me and the Vivian were like, we need a cigarette. But every time we went for a cigarette, people were looking at us like we'd just punched someone in the face. I was like, oh God. But yeah, I love New York, and we went to loads of bars and yeah, I had a party in like a penthouse. It was like in the top floor. You saw the whole city. I was with Unnie Davenport and Evie Oddly, and we were just partying, and it was like, I just had to pinch myself. So it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm with these queens who I look up to, and DragCon New York is just incredible. I love the UK one because everyone knew who I was then because of Drag Race.
Right, yeah.
It'd been aired. So I was making that money on that merch store.
Well, listen, I'm coming to London. You and I will have a drink. I don't smoke, but I'll have a fag with you just so I can look and feel cool. And we will kiki more up in London. I'm so excited.
Yes, we're going for dinner. We're going to have cocktails. I'm going to come on the opening night. The producer's already got my ticket for the opening night, so I will be there. I'll give you a good look backstage, and I'll be there cheering on my gorgeous sisters because I love you all.
Thank you, babe. I love you so much. Thank you for talking with us, and I'll see you across the pond in a few short weeks, my love.
I can't wait to see you, babes. I'll see you in England, and we'll have some fish and chips, babe. It's going to be amazing.
Fish and chips. Thank you, babe. Mwah, mwah. Thank you, boo.
Listen to some Adele. Love you, babe.
Love you. Becoming one of the breakout stars from season 1 of Stranger Things, our first guest, stay booked and blessed. Please help me, the naturally red Miss Shannon Purser.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for being here. I was just telling you before we started recording, I'm living for the candle, I'm living for the black, and I love your nails. I'm literally obsessed.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I just felt like very witchy this year. Like all holed up in my apartment, so it's perfect.
I love it. Listen, when this episode airs, I will be taking a screenshot and sending a picture of your nails to my nail tech and be like, I want a set.
Wow, I'm honored. That's amazing. Thank you.
Shannon, I have to say, one of my favorite things about you is that you are a beautiful natural redhead. You know, a lot of hoes be out here faking the red, but you are all natural, embracing it. You, not Susan Sarandon, Emma Stone, all the greats are redheads, in my opinion.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, my sister is like a redhead too, and we're kind of just like silently judging some of these girls who come up with like their I get why you want to join the club. I get it.
Now, I promise there'll be no more Barb talk, but it is, people literally lost their minds about the Barb. People were having seances trying to bring you back. It was crazy. How does it feel to have such a huge impact? And it was your first role, yeah?
Yeah, that was my first acting job ever.
Like, that is like literally the dream. That never happened.
I know, it never happens. It's so bizarre. Like, even now, I think I've kind of like blocked it out of my memory because I was just like in shock the whole time. Because I was just some like kid in senior year of high school who just got this part, and then everything totally went out of control.
Yeah, it went out of control. You done features for Netflix, Riverdale, so many amazing projects. What so far has one of the most dynamic ones? Obviously, Strange Things was fierce, but like in terms of dynamic to work with and like a really good one to work with.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, Stranger Things was just so cool because it was my first job and I love like 80s sci-fi. So it was
Right?
like a first job. But like
And
Riverdale.
the styling. I love the styling of Stranger Things. I love how the looks you
Oh,
have to wear on it.
me too. I did it. And then my mom was like, I had that shirt that you're wearing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, and shifting gears, I mean, so I saw the trailer for Equal, and my sister and I watched it, and girl, it looks so good. Before we talk about it, let's take a look at it really quick.
We arrested around 3,000 homosexuals.
The police department knows they're sex deviants.
In 1952, admitting to being gay could get you 15 years to life. Cops would contact our employers, publish our names and addresses in the paper.
We were going to lose our jobs, lose our homes.
We were tired of being victims.
I declared under oath
That I was homosexual.
I wasn't ashamed of it.
For the first time, we went in saying we had the right to be who we are.
We should be standing up on our hind legs and demanding our full equality.
We are all fed up.
You can be proud of being gay. You can be proud of being yourself. That in itself is radical.
Are you a man or a woman? Well, dear, first one has to determine what is a man and what is a woman.
Sick and tired of being shut down.
People who are just coming into their own in the world must be as dramatic about it as they possibly can.
Time to take what we deserve now.
We can't just let ourselves be attacked, pushed around again and again. Start shoving back!
You can't force us into your boxes anymore. We're not going.
What do you say?
Shannon, it looks so good. It's so good. So good. So good. Ugh. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm just so excited about this one. Like, it was such an amazing experience, and like all the cast and crew were queer, so it was just this really.
Oh, see, I love that.
Yeah, it was so great.
Yeah. And you're identified as a queer woman. How did it feel to channel our ancient queer gods to do this role?
Truly, I mean, that's like really how I felt, just super humbled and overwhelmed and excited. Like, I don't know, I've had such a journey getting to where I am at this point in my life. Like, I grew up in the Bible Belt in Georgia, super Christian. And so, like, if you'd asked me a few years ago if I would have taken this part, I would have said no, because I would have been terrified.
Wow. Yeah.
So to be able to do this confidently and to feel like I'm like honoring these women who came before me is so special.
Yeah. I firmly believe, and people would get mad at me, but I'm like, lesbians are literally the superhumans. They're women, so affairs. They're queer affairs. And lesbians are just boss ass. All the lesbians in my life are women that have positively affected great things in my life. And I love lesbian women and energy.
Absolutely agree. They're like the blueprint. I'm like, oh.
You know what I mean? Love it. So I want to play one really cute game, Shannon.
Sure.
It's called The Strangest Thing, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a thing or a place, and you just tell me the strangest thing that happened to you then. Really quick, rapid fire, okay?
Cool. Okay.
Here we go. The strangest thing on Halloween.
Ooh, probably that I just like stayed home every year because we weren't allowed to celebrate it.
See, well, I grew up in the islands and we don't really celebrate Halloween. So when I came to America, I was like, okay, this is a thing I've seen on Hocus Pocus and TV. I get it, but I was never allowed to celebrate it either. So I've never really been a Halloween person, but whatever. The strangest thing that happened to you in high school.
High school. Okay. Well, there are a lot of strange things. I went to like cult Christian school. And we would do like performances where we like pretended to be like basically the 7 sins, and yeah, it was just a lot. There's a lot. I was a weird kid. That's basically it.
You know, I just finished, thinking of cult, I just finished Handmaid's Tale. I know I'm late to the train. I know everyone. Handmaid's Tale, girl, have you ever watched it? It's so good. I'm like obsessed.
I saw the first season and I was like, wow, this hits like real close to home.
Got you. The strangest thing on the set of Riverdale.
Oh, strangest thing. Oh God, I know these are supposed to be like rapid fire questions.
Oh no, girl, I say that, but I'm the same way. I'm like,
I'm like, oh God, wait, there's so much. The strangest thing that happened on Riverdale. Probably getting the job, because they just like invited me into the workroom and were like, hey, we saw you on Stranger Things and like, do you want to be in our show? And I was
Word.
Sure. So I kind of just showed up.
I think the universe is telling you, Shannon, that we needed you as an actress. The universe is like, literally every sign, everything is like, Shannon, act, please.
Lord, I hope so. This is my dream.
The strangest thing that's ever happened to you on a first date. The strangest thing that has happened to me was a guy invited me on a date, pre-Drag Race. I literally had no money to my name. And I mean, he racked up a bill. He may have had, I want to say, 5 to 6 drinks. We went to a place called Del Frisco's, a little fancy restaurant. I was like, okay. So the bill ended up being about $422. And he was like, yeah, you should like pay for it. I was like, let's go Dutch. God. And he was like, no, I don't have my card on me. I don't have my wallet or anything. I was like, work. Wow. So I ended up paying $422 for a date.
Wow.
We didn't even have sex. Anyway, what about you?
I don't have anything to compete with that. Like, the weird I was on a date where I had to do all the talking, and I mean like all the talking.
Hate that.
It was
at that point, I'm like, go home. What's the strangest thing that happened to you at work? Like when you used to work at the movie theater back in the day.
Yeah. I think things kind of like got really weird towards the end. So I was still working there like after Stranger Things came out, because I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to act again. So like, I need to keep this. And on like one of my last days, I like went back to my car and there was this couple like waiting for me by my car. I don't know how they knew which car was mine. And
how do they see? No, man, that's weird.
We saw you on Stranger Things, and I was like, okay, like how do you know what car I drive? It was
that's creepy, girl. No. Amidst of all the COVID craziness, do you have any plans of celebrating Halloween this year?
Yeah, I think in my own way. Like I'm kind of like witchy and I love like spooky stuff. So I'll probably just be watching scary movies and like dressing up for nobody but myself. But it'll be
Are you based in LA?
Mm-hmm.
Jealous. You know, I often think about moving to LA. I'm like,
You're in New York,
such a New York girl. Yeah, I'm in New York. I don't know if I could do it.
I get it. I love New York so much. I lived there for like a little bit, and I would love to go back.
Yeah. I feel like my time here has maybe expired. It's time to explore. I really like Portland. I think Portland is a great city.
Oh yeah.
Portland is weird, but it's still vibey and cute. So maybe Portland. We'll see though.
Yeah, same. I love Oregon. That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, Shannon, Equal looks like a great film, great docuseries. I don't think you know how beautiful, how important it is to see a queer woman playing a role like this and giving it life. And for all the young queer kids, like you said, you didn't know about a lot of stuff that happens in it. I'm sure I have no idea of the queer history that's in it. So it's really important. It's timely. And I'm so happy and so excited to watch it.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you so much. I can't wait.
Thank you so much for being here with us on this pre-Halloween episode.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, my dear. Have a good day. Mwah. Bye. And that's what we call a show, girl. Oh, look at you. You missed my little catch, Patty. That was the show this week. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all with all of our little technical glitches and difficulties. We made it work. I long for the day when we are back in studio and living our lives like normal people, because this digital shit is for the birds, but I love it for you. Please check out this show. Podcast form is available wherever podcasts are found: Apple, Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, all the places. And give us a 5-star rating and a comment. It would really mean a lot to me. Until next time, thank you, and remember to always keep your currency in check.